Hello, today is a very special episode. We're located in Uclan and we're together with Pantelis Panteli, who is... Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, as you've mentioned, my name is Pantelis Panteli. I am the course leader here at Uclan Cyprus, here at Bila. And I am the new course leader of the fashion program.
How excited are you?
It's, I would say I'm excited and nervous at the same time.
Why?
I think every new beginning has this feeling, but generally I'm excited and can't wait to start.
I think it's also, you mentioned that this is the first fashion designer course, correct me if I'm wrong, in Cyprus, or not?
Well, no, it's not the first, but it is the first that is actually offering dual degrees, both from Uclan UK and also from Uclan Cyprus.
I think it's the time to say, if you want to mention, that there's a scholarship.
Yes, we have a great surprise today. We're actually offering 2 scholarships, which up to 50% to first-year students for the fashion course, and they have until the 30th of August the ability to claim this, and they have to just follow a few steps, and I'm going to let you say those steps because they're very special.
If you want to get the scholarship up to 50% for the fashion designer course, your next steps are: text Uclan on Instagram with the promo code saying Cypriota podcast, your full name and your telephone number, and just wait until Uclan will text you back. How many years have you been in this industry?
Well, I've been in the academia for the last 12 years, but I've actually been in the fashion industry nearly 30 years.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yes.
So you're probably someone that students can trust.
I hope so.
As a course leader.
Yeah.
Okay, as a course leader, what's your role?
As a course leader, of course, I will be lecturing. It's for me to monitor and to make sure that the actual program is running smoothly. I'm here to support students and any sort of kind of difficulties. I'm a big time also mentor to the students due to the many years of experience. I'm also a very giving kind of person, so I never really hold information for myself. I, wholeheartedly give it to my students. And yeah, I really try to support them in any way I can.
When did you realize that you want to go into the fashion designing?
That is a question. Now, believe it or not, I think the first time, unconsciously, I was 7 years old.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. Now, a little story for you there. This is the 70s, so imagine here. To be more precise, around about 1977, there's me giving my age away.
Okay.
And Miss World, Miss Universe actually is still on TV being produced live. I was in the UK at the time. And I remember for the first time looking at this competition being televised. And there was something there at that moment. The whole glamour, the dresses, the models walking and all these stars. And I think at that moment, with the combination of Freddie Mercury and his nipple piercing and all the other, and Boney and, flip dancing on TV, at this moment, I think this was the first thing and the contact that I had with fashion. I said to myself, I want to be part of this world. I didn't really know until I was about 12, I would say. Moving over to the 80s, we didn't have social media at the time, so we couldn't type and say, what is a fashion designer, Someone came and said to me, you know what, you could do this for a profession. And I was like, and I was hooked. What is this, And they told me, and I think I knew then I knew that's what I'm going to do. Funny story, fast forward to 2000, Cyprus held the Miss Universe beauty competition for the first time. You were probably not born at the time.
No, I wasn't.
No, you weren't, were you?
I wasn't, no. I'm 07, so...
Well, in 2000, Cyprus hosted the Miss Universe competition. And I was the official stylist and dresser of the Cypriot participant.
Wow.
And part of the thing. So after so many years, a dream had come true. And it was very exciting at the time,
So you created your own brand, as I'm assuming.
Yes, which was Atelier Pantelis.
Atelier Pantelis. And that is not open now, or is that open?
Well, at this precise moment, it's dormant since 2019. I think I've dedicated myself fully to academia now.
Okay.
I've been doing it since 2013, 12. So I think it was time to be, and I think, when you have all this information, you just want to pass it on.
It's fine. Something new is also good, always
Yes.
for your life.
Yes.
So when was your first fashion show?
My first show, my first private show, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 1996.
Oh, that's many years ago. We're
Not
talking
as
about.
many, from my side it isn't that many.
For
Maybe
my
from you.
side, it's many. Yeah.
Yeah, I had finished my studies in 95. I had stayed in London for about a year. I was working as a freelance designer. Funny enough, I was, because I graduated with distinction from the London College of Fashion, and it was automatically, I was being employed left, right and centre. I was a bit of a golden child at the time. So I was being asked to go for, internships. I internshipped at Vivienne Westwood. I internshipped at Topshop, Benetton.
Damn.
I also worked on a project with Calvin Klein at the time, and we produced their first, I would say, perfume.
Oh my God! If
together.
we find that perfume, we'll insert the
It
picture.
still exists, but I'd rather not say
You'd
what
rather
it is.
not say? Oh, no.
Yes.
Okay, that's sad.
So after that, I decided I wanted to come to Cyprus. I come from parents that grew up. I was part of an immigration, parents that were Cypriot, but lived in England. Then I came to Cyprus, and I decided I wanted to make a career in Cyprus. I thought at the time, my mind was saying, why not make Cyprus a cultural and fashion center? But when I came to Cyprus, I discovered that trying to find a job as a designer was almost impossible. Again, another funny story. I had just finished a collaboration with Topshop. And I remember at the time, I produced about 80 designs. And I got paid for about 11 of these by the way. And I remember coming to Cyprus, and at that time in Limassol, because I was in Limassol, there was Anastasia, well, now it's not so, but then in the 90s, it was very buzzing, basically. Half the shops were shopping and had my collections in their shop windows, and I was looking for a job. So for the time being, I started working as a barman at a place in Limassol, which was hot at the time. It doesn't exist, so I could say its name, vice versa, anymore. And I was working as a barman. And I started in springtime, and that happened until for the summer, really. And the owner there, we got really friendly, and they said to me, why don't you make a collection? And we can give you the facilities, we'll help you, we'll sponsor you and everything. And I did. I did it, and I had my first show round about, I think it must have been October, November. Had my first show, and because of the connections and the people that I actually got to learn, I had about 750 people. I even remember the theme. It was a 70s Charlie Angels inspirational theme.
Damn.
It was very in at the time. And I remember, because Cyprus was very kind of basic when it came to fashion shows at the time.
I don't think we had that interest.
No, I mean, it took me 2-3 years
time
before I was recognized as a designer. A lot of people used to think you were a seamstress at the time. They didn't realize. So I had these old vintage cars and motorbikes, bringing models on the catwalk, and it was a very big interaction. It was a time of John Galliano, Alexander McQueen, and they were being big. They were big inspirations for me, basically. So it was a very theatrical show. And that was it, I think about 3-4 months later, the orders, I sold out the collection, which was about 40 looks. And I remember that by January, I needed space to work because I couldn't work from the room of my flat anymore. I needed to become more professional. And I walked down the road and I opened my first atelier in Limassol.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
How did you feel about projecting your work?
Oh my God! You see, I'm a very emotional person, so I get to keep these memories very. I think first time I showed my collection, I'll tell you exactly what happened. I think it was about 5-10 minutes before the show started, and there was panic
Yeah,
chaos.
obviously.
And, you know,
Obviously.
and to be honest with you, I wasn't exactly sure, did I know what I was doing? But you did know, but at the time, you know, I didn't. I was like 26, I think, 27 at the time. I went to the bathrooms, I remember at the time, and I looked to myself and I said, do you know what, Panteli? You're just about to expose yourself to a hell of a lot of people, and it's a make me or break me time. And I just looked at myself and I said, you got it. Burst out crying for another 5 minutes, and then I just, you know, I took a deep breath and says, right, let's do this. And I've never stopped ever since. It's just one of those things that I just carried on going every year.
I feel like it's just scary the first time, but then
Yes,
then
yes,
you know what you're
yes.
doing. You know what you're doing.
Yes, it's like this podcast, really. It's very scary for me. It's my first one.
Why are you scared? Don't be scared.
I'm just joking.
It's
no.
like, imagine if, I don't know, it would be worse if you just went to the TV the first time.
Oh, I've done that many times.
Also,
if
then why are you
that's my-
scared? Like, why are you scared? Don't be scared. What did you learn all these years from the fashion industry?
I learnt a lot of things, and yet I feel like I learnt nothing
Why?
at the same time, if that makes sense. I mean, listen, the fashion industry is a huge, humongous industry, and it's a massive mechanism, and it's like a wheel, and it goes round and round and round. And you know what? You're constantly learning. I always say to my students, I make sure I learn something new every day, because the fashion industry develops so fast and so vastly, I would say, basically. That's not even a word, but you know, why not? I like to use my own words. You need to keep on top of the game. And if you don't and you stop, then the game will go by. So basically, what I've actually learned is basically, let's put this in a wise way, like I can sleep later on in my life. I need to be constantly awake. But I'm an adrenaline junkie anyhow, so I kind of like the fact that I like to learn stuff. I'm also a very curious person. And this is what I always say to students, first-year students, that you need to become curious. And that question, why, should be in your mouth every other word. You know, that little 3-year-old annoying poor little kid that's saying, why every 5 minutes, needs to happen in a grown-up. Because you need to be curious. And I do see that I'm a very curious person. So if anything, I've learned so much, but yet so little.
Yeah, but which is good, because I think you always learn in life. Like, you never stop learning. Some people, they think they know everything, but they don't. Like,
Yes.
you don't.
No, but that's right. That's right. You're completely right there. I think anyone that says that I know everything is someone that's denying.
Yeah.
This is why I always normally say, the one thing that I know is that I know nothing. Really, at the end of the day, a lot of people kind of normally say to me, so what will you miss, and what do you want to do? And I go to them, you know what, I want to absorb as much of information as I can in life, because basically life's too short.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Where are we located at the moment?
Well, we're actually located in our brand new atelier. For those who don't know what atelier means, it means it's a workspace, a creative workspace. In the atelier, this is one of various rooms, basically. In the atelier, students will have the opportunity to create, develop, pattern cut, which is a form of creating before you actually get onto the garments, learn how to drape. I think learn generally to be creative on the stand and off the stand.
Yeah. So this basically is just the sewing room, I'm assuming.
The sewing room is right next door.
Oh, okay.
This is the creative room.
So
this is before it gets to the sewing room.
Oh.
We have all here, and we have, I mean, if you want me to, I'll go through the steps. Like,
sure, yeah.
Once you designed and you've done your research and you've come up with the various designers, you choose your design. From there on, then you attempt to create this on a pattern. A pattern is, I would say, how should I put this? It's a module, a form, a rough draft of the final product. From there on, we normally cut it on a calico. And on the calico, we go to the sewing room, we put it together, and we see what mistakes have we done to correct them before we actually cut the fabric. And it's very important to do this, because when you get to the fabric, you want to go to the stage of just basically, nip and little tucks, but you don't want to go completely wrong. especially if you're doing private clients or you're doing collections afterwards, because you can have fabrics that are €5 worth, but you can also have fabrics that are €700 worth a meter. So you don't want to go wrong.
Yeah. How many years is this course?
The course is actually 4 years.
4 years. That's a lot of time.
It starts off with fundamentals
Okay.
of basically, so whether you have a fashion background or not, every student can actually enroll because it starts from the very beginning. It talks
Like
about the
learning
fundamentals.
how to sew and stuff?
Sew, pattern cutting, draw, illustrate, computer programs like Illustrator, InDesign, Claude, 3D animation, all these, everything basically that a student needs to equip itself with the correct knowledge for tomorrow when they go out into the industry.
So that's the first year, I'm assuming.
Well, it's part of the first year. I mean, you will actually go through all of this in the 4 years. And each year will develop accordingly. So when we start with fundamentals in the first year, you go a step further in the second year. And then in the third year, you start talking more about business and a bit more about how they learn to market themselves. And then we go over to the final year where it's mainly concentrated of the students doing the collections.
Oh,
final
damn,
collections.
wow, okay.
So the final year is the big year of the students finding their true identity, creating their collections, and it will be ending with a massive fashion show from the industry.
From Uclan.
From here, yes, and from the industry, we have a lot of people and guests and collaborators. We have people on the program that will be visiting lectures as well, like editor of Vogue of Greece as well.
Can I join
various
that?
socialite. Sorry.
Can I join that?
Yes, of course. I think you know.
I'll come, like.
But yeah, we have a lot of people from the industry that we have connections. I've been in the industry for many years.
Obviously.
I've also resided as president of the Design Association in Cyprus. So this has allowed me to create a lot of connections in Cyprus and abroad.
Mm-hmm. Wait, this is a very interesting question because business administration will have an end of year written exam.
Okay.
What's the exam for fashion?
Well, it's not part of my curriculum at this precise moment. It won't be as, when we say business, it won't be as, if you're studying for business administration, it'll be more fashion and basically
is it
most
going to be written or is like
no,
make
project-wise,
something?
project-wise.
Okay, yeah.
So it's about what you create the content, portfolio-wise, like sketchbooks, research boards, portfolio work, and that means garments, collections, photo shooting, videography.
Which is
all
so
of
much
these.
easier. I think I would take that on rather than a written exam.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I mean, we have some written essays in that in the course,
which is fine.
Yes.
Just write it. Don't plagiarize and stop using ChatGPT and
Oh,
stop
yes,
asking
please.
other people to do it for you. If you think we don't know you're doing that.
Yes.
From the runway to education, what fascinates you about this transformation of yours?
Right.
Because it's very different, I think, when you have to work.
It is and it isn't.
Why? But okay, I think educating students that are new to fashion is way harder rather than going on and doing something your own, which you already know how to sew, how to this, how to that. It's like,
imagine this. For 25 years, I had my own business and I did all this. And even though I had educational opportunities before to work in academia, I had said no. After 25 years and after basically doing quite a lot of things, I mean, you know, I sold collections in the UK, in Paris, in Greece, in America. I think I fulfilled a lot of my life ambitions. And I think why education? You get to a stage in life, I think, when you're full of all this knowledge. I think parents have the opportunity to do this with their kids.
To give their knowledge
and they
to
give
the
their knowledge
kids.
for that.
Yeah.
And because I never had kids, I think education was another...
like, you want to pass your knowledge on to other people and,
And I remember when I first started this, I started very reluctant. I was thinking, I wonder if I can do this. I didn't realize it was a natural for me. And I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. It also gives me opportunity nowadays to do more things, you know? I think I envisioned, when I said that, you know, I mean, I do some private clients every year. I have a special reserved spot for certain clients. But generally, I'm in academia, but it also gives me time to research and know and learn as well. I dabble a lot in installations and in also presentation skills and things like that. I think I'm challenging myself in many other directions. And as I said, I'm a very greedy person when it comes to this, as knowledge as well. I want to do so many things in life. And, and I thought, and academia is one of those things. I never expected it, but it kind of came into my life, and I'm so glad it did.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like this is what you're going to continue with?
I don't know. At this precise moment of my life, yes. For the next few years, possibly yes. But I'm always a person that you never know what life will bring to you, and there's this saying they say in Cyprus, but I will say it in English. Oh, I'll try and translate it. That he who plans. No, I'm going to badly translate that, but I'll better not say it. But basically, about fate has a different plans for you. So I could sit here and say, I would like to be an academic for the rest of my life, but I don't know. Tomorrow's a new day. Who knows?
Why should someone study BA Fashion Design in Uclan Cyprus?
Why not? I mean, why? First of all, let me just get something clear. We might be starting the fashion program here in Uclan Cyprus, but I need to accentuate that this course has been running for 50 years in the Uclan UK.
Yeah.
It is a well-accredited program with multiple awards. It's cutting edge. It actually presents in Graduate Fashion Week nearly every week, which I must mention our students will have the opportunity to join as graduates, which is a big opportunity.
It's a big thing, yeah.
So what we're actually doing here is picking up the quality of Uclan UK, and we're actually teaching it here in Cyprus. So it's not actually a new course. It's being new here. We have new studios, new machines, cutting edge technology.
I mean, everything is new here.
Everything is new, obviously, which is really exciting because you want to mess it up a bit.
It's fine.
But it's fine,
it's the first year. Yeah.
The teachers, the lecturers here are professionals first and then educators. Actually, some of the lecturers are actually working in the fashion industry at this precise moment. Also, studying fashion doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a fashion designer. Studying fashion opens so many other possibilities, like, yes, the obvious, fashion designer. You could be a fashion technician. You can be a textile designer because you'll be learning how to do your own textiles. Whether this is printing, knitting, or fabric manipulation, you'll be learning how to do that. You could become a fashion merchandiser, which is the business side of... you could be a stylist. You could be a fashion communicator, like a blogger. So there's so many aspects that you can actually follow by studying fashion, but fashion being the core position. Also, another reason is the collaborations that we have.
The connections, the networking. I think.
Exactly. Students have the chance by finishing in their graduate year of either entering the Athens Fashion Week or the Filik Fashion Week of Romania. Also, another kind of arts and fashion installation of Greece that they can take part. And during their studies, our students also have the opportunity to go for internships and work backstage at these.
That's great.
So this is a massive opportunity that a lot of students don't get. Also, students have access to fashion programs and fashion shows of UK while they're in Cyprus.
Yeah, wow.
And let's face it, a lot more cheaper than studying in the UK.
I don't know what the prices are. Like if
it's accommodation. You never think of just your educational fees. You've got to think of your accommodation. So, and here is based in in Larnaca, Bila Larnaca, and you're close to home. Wherever you are.
Depends. Like I'm sure you guys. Do you know the nationalities of the students that you're gonna have?
I don't know, not yet. The majority are Cypriot, as far as I know. But we do have various
Okay.
Other nationalities, yes.
How does a day of a fashion designer student look like? So the time it starts, I'm sure the days are different, like they might have lectures and stuff like that. But yeah.
How does it start? Now, it starts by walking in very numb. Most students will have a mug of coffee in their hands and they normally walk up because they've been working all night as well, and they walk in. By lunchtime, this energy has shifted into a much more fun, creative state of mind. By the afternoon, students normally fall into a crazy mood. This is what we call. The music comes on. They're creating. And then normally you have someone knocking on and say, "It's time to leave. The actual university is closing." So, so fashion students tend to stay a lot into the studios. And when you're actually creating something from nothing, it's not as if like you're doing an academic lesson where you're like, okay, I have to write this. You're actually creating. And when you're actually creating, you never know how long
for sure.
or how much time you've actually, and it's fun. There's fun. There's time when you work really hard, or when there's times when there's frustration and you hear people shouting and throwing their garments out the window because basically the machine went wrong on them, or whatever. But that's part of the action, and it's part of the creative part.
Wait, so it's not every day though. It's 3 times per day, right? Sorry, 3 times per week. 3 times per week.
Yes, it's 3 full days of the week. But students do have the ability to use the facilities of the studio if there is no lesson, so they can carry on experimenting.
Is it starting at what time does uni start?
9 o'clock in the morning. Until 5 other lessons, yes.
That's fine.
So that's quite a good.
My school is from 8 until 3.
Okay.
So and I'm complaining, guys.
Well, it's until 5, but
there's a lunch break, right?
Yes, there's lunch breaks and breaks in between as well.
Okay.
Which students can have, amazingly fresh lunch here at the restaurant.
Cafeteria, right?
And restaurant and cafeteria.
There's restaurant and cafeteria.
Very nice. Should take you late. Well, I'll probably be closed by the time we finish.
That's...
No one knows how to have fun anymore. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Everyone's it's about posing and strike a pose, isn't it? Or and it's an insta kind of moment. And I think everyone is losing the moment. I love this because, I'm very curious and I like to look at things.
Yeah.
I kind of look at I like to sit and look at people and examine. It's like a storytelling, and how people, but it saddens me a lot of times because I feel like a lot of youth are spending more time on an Insta picture, pretending they're having fun, than actually having fun.
Yeah.
And that is a bit sad sometimes.
Oh, that's true.
That's the only, because, you can actually have the fun if you just put the phone down.
Yeah, that's true. What would you advise young people that want to go into the fashion industry?
What will I advise? Very good question. Basically, I would advise is to never lose the goal that you have set out to put to begin with. Accept the downfalls and the upfalls equally, because you'll learn. Never give up on your dream. Dream up high. That's what I always say. Dream up high, and if you get to there, you won't be disappointed. But if you're dreaming down low and go even lower, you'll get disappointed. But even then, there's always the way to go up. And that's what you need to do in your life to keep going.
Damn, that says a lot. Says a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wish you good luck this first year.
Definitely follow. Follow.
Thank you. Don't forget about the scholarship.
Yes.
Up to 30th of August. If you want to know how to do it again, you scroll back.
50%.
Up to 50%. Depends on your grades, by the way. I don't know if I was supposed to say that or not.
Well, it does. It's one of the factors.
It's one of the factors, yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wish you luck.
I wish you all the luck.
Thanks. See you later. Bye-bye.